Hi y'all. The topic of this video is, what type of empath are you? Okay, so there is a healthy functioning empath, an average functioning empath, and an unhealthy, pathological, I would say non-functioning empath. Which ones do you think you are? Let's break this down. Okay. A healthy functioning empath is the type of empath that has a very high level of self-awareness. She is giving and helpful. And when she is giving and helpful, it is a conscious choice that she makes. She's a realist regarding her acts of giving. She gives when she can, but if she can't give, she doesn't. She's very realistic about her choice of giving or not, depending on where she's at the time of her life. She's not attached to any particular outcome, but just more of her act of true giving. She's very grounded. And she's also very aware of any weaknesses of being a victim to manipulation, being manipulated by other people or by another person. All right, let's move on to the next one. The average functioning empath. This is intermediate level for the empath. Okay, intermediate level of functioning. The average functioning empath is basically setting themselves up towards codependency. They're codependent on other people. Have it be, it's an intimate partner, a spouse, their parents, an adult child or adult children, siblings, even friendships. They can be codependent on one or more people. They don't have to be related. The codependency dynamics are not related. They just can be codependent on different amounts of people at the same time. They view themselves as the center. They're the proud helper. They're the ones that fix everything, wants to fix everybody, not including themselves. They want to fix everybody else but themselves, when they should really be fixing themselves. Okay, this is somewhat of an egocentric position that the empath may take, okay? They can become resentful when not appreciated, but has enough cognitive, psychological, and mental resources to suppress that. So they may feel resentful for a bit of time. They may feel like they're not appreciated, but they have enough of mental and emotional capacity to get over it, so to say. Although this type of resentfulness and feeling of not being appreciated, it can manifest into passive-aggressive behavior, with still having the capacity to pull themselves back, the ability to read the signals, read the signs, and cues to pull back. So there is somewhat of a weakness in this area as an average functioning empath. There is some resentment, there's some ill feelings of not being appreciated, maybe even taken advantage of. But mind you, remember, she is the fixer-upper, and she becomes very codependent. We don't want average functioning empaths, okay? We don't want that. We need to fix ourselves. We need to focus on ourselves and become completely independent, dependent on ourselves and our higher being. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So the unhealthy pathological empath, not very functioning at all, may function minimally, okay? They have a pathological need to heal, save and rescue other people, not themselves. There is an obsessive quality to be addictive towards another person who can have a personality disorder, a drug addiction, be abusive, become a controller. Routinely enters into dysfunctional, abusive, and controlling-based relationships. The empath may take it upon themselves to help heal, save another person, but they develop an addictive quality to seeking out individuals to make a project to help and heal. Again, they're not making a project of themselves to help and heal themselves, but other people, okay? Loves the person out of their pathologies, regardless. These are the disordered individuals. Again, jealous type, controlling, all right? Have a personality disorder or two, okay? The focus is on one individual. It might be a special person in their life. It might be an intimate relationship that they have a lot of chemistry with, okay? The unhealthy pathological empath is not in a very good place in their lives, okay? They can develop a host of pathologies themselves, okay? How does this happen? Because empaths, okay, pick up the energies of other people, especially if they're spending a lot of time with them or residing with them, okay? So if you are in an intimate relationship or a marriage with another person that is an unhealthy being, has a disorder or maybe two or more, are controlling, are extremely jealous, are extremely dysfunctional and toxic, okay? You are picking up their energies because you're an empath. And then you might think that these energies are of your own. They're not. But you're not going to be able to learn what your true, genuine, and good energy is until you get away and be by yourself for a good old while. If you don't, you can develop these pathologies because you're, again, right, an empath who picks up other people's energies, starts making it their own, okay? You're codependent. You're fixing other people's problems or this other person's problems, and you make it a project. This is your, full-time personal job, okay? There's no way that you can become a high quality, healthy, functioning, high functioning empath working from a state of being an unhealthy pathological empath. There's no way, okay? So you have to jump. You have to make jumps. And you might jump from being the unhealthy pathological empath over to the middle ground, the intermediate level empath, and then over to the high functioning, healthy empath. That's where we want to be. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And no matter where you are at as an empath, know that you have the giftings, the capabilities, the abilities, the discernment, the wisdom, the willingness, everything that you need to move across the spectrum, being a high quality, healthy, functioning empath. And you can do this. This is totally doable, but you're going to have to focus on yourself, and you're going to have to make some jumps and some leaps. You're going to have to be very gracious onto yourself. Take all the grace that your higher power, your source, God, is willing to give you, and give yourself time and patience and do the hard heart work. Do the hard heart work, and it takes time. This is not happening overnight. This takes time. So I hope this was informative to you. I hope this resonated with you, and do know that you can do it. I've been there. I've made those leaps. And I traveled across that spectrum. You can do it too.